This is hilarious.
Say there, Timmy. What's that you're enjoying? Why?
Food.
It's breakfast, of course. Everyone loves breakfast. But did you know that breakfast is getting a sequel? That's right. It's called
Lunch?
And critics are
Hey.
waiting that lunch will be everything breakfast was and more. With a little luck, we may even get a trilogy series out of it.
Dinner?
Say, you know what a sequel is, don't you, Timmy? Why, sequels are the world's way of clinging helplessly to the past. We
True.
all want more of the things we love, and we're all afraid of change, which is what
No.
makes sequels so popular. New ideas are dangerous, Timmy, and they can lead to early aging.
They're
This
dangerous.
eager-minded young thinker is just 29 years old. That's why we have sequels.
I
to
don't
keep
think
us
so.
couched in the familiar and the comfortable. Sequels are the bedrock of a healthy, functional society. And if you look around you, you'll find them everywhere you go. For instance, this man is developing a
So
sequel
healthy.
to the automobile, which we'll call the vertical automobile. It's a useless, impractical invention. And in 2 days' time, the man will be publicly stoned to death for his crimes against gravity. Not all sequels are heretical nonsense, however. Here's the man who invented breathing, which is the sequel to suffocating and dying a slow death.
Oh, wow.
Even your parents are getting a sequel, Timmy. Their names are Rob and Jessica, and they'll be taking care of you once your original parents are sent back in time to fight a secret war for the government.
Oh.
Sequels can be very fashionable. This young woman is wearing 5 shirts at once, which is the sequel to wearing 4 shirts at once. Look at
True.
Becky over there, wearing only 2 shirts at once.
Silly
Get with
Becky.
the times, Becky. In fact, there is only one single thing in the world that isn't a sequel. It's this. We don't know what it is or why it exists, but it's the
What is
prequel
that?
from which all sequels are derived. And just like everything else, the Stanley Parable is getting a sequel too. We all
Huzzah.
know, of course, that it was your favorite game as a child.
Oh,
Don't
yes.
you remember those long, lazy need a man's video game, Timmy.
We need a
And
man's
that's why
game.
the Stanley Parable 2 will be perfect for you. It's as manly as video games can get.
Oh, so
And
manly.
if you don't believe me, let's look at the burly hunk of a man who's responsible for the game.
I'm about to get some serious
Here he
biceps.
is, hard at work. His name is Gregory 8-Pack, and he's the cutting picture of raw, virile masculinity.
Oh, yeah.
Gregory is what we call the ideas guy, and he has the most important role on the
ideas guy.
team. The ideas guy tirelessly comes up with interesting concepts and then hands them off to the rest of the developers for the relatively simple job of turning those concepts into reality. For example, he's the one who picked up the phone and declared, "Someone ought to make a sequel to the Stanley Parable."
Oh, so it's
Good
all
work,
his
Gregory.
fault?
Go ahead and take the rest of the day off. With the hard part out of the way, work on the game can now begin. The game's developers must answer a simple question. What makes a sequel in the first place? Well, it's simple. Sequels are an opportunity to correct the mistakes of their predecessors. We've all made mistakes, and we've all caused harm to someone we love in order to cover up our mistakes. When developing this particular sequel, it's important to start by thinking, what mistakes did the original Stanley Parable make? Well, first off, most of the pornography in the original game was stolen or pirated, and
Wait,
it's time
what?
we paid the licensing fees fair and square.
What did he just say?
Second, the Stanley Parable was catastrophic for this man named Leroy, whose personal information, including home address, social security number, and bank information, were all displayed prominently in multiple locations throughout the game. Although Leroy's money and identity were stolen, the fact remains that his personal information was the emotional core of the game and
Oh my.
absolutely vital to a nuanced understanding of the story. As reparation for the harm we caused him, the sequel will contain a brief and insincere apology to Leroy, tucked deep within the game where it will be difficult to find. Finally, the
It sounds like our typical game developer. Fruits? Anyone?
Stanley Parable made the mistake of leaking too many government secrets about the nature of the Time Wars. Without these
rip.
intricate details of specific military tactics, the story is likely to make very little sense. But we've decided to remove them from the sequel in the interest of helping the state's efforts. We'll get to you yet, Time Dracula.
Time
Now then,
Dracula.
It's time to set about constructing the Stanley Parable 2. Game development is a difficult and complex art, one
True.
which can only be fully understood by this race of hyper-intelligent child soldiers bred in laboratories.
What?
They begin by studying the original Stanley Parable. Here it is in its raw, untouched form, a specimen of technological perfection. Time to exploit it for profit. We begin by adding jokes.
Sounds
The
right.
Stanley Parable was most widely known for its stark lack of humor, bucking all conventional industry wisdom. It was a bold artist statement that its developers stood firmly behind. But in 2022, it's impossible to reach even a single consumer of video games without jokes of some kind. So very
Gotta have
well,
some memes.
Jokes it'll be. During its development, over 500 kiloliters of comedy will be funneled directly into the core of the Stanley Parable 2.
How much
creating
is
jobs
that?
for hundreds of machine operators and producing 30,000 tons of pollutant chemical byproduct, which will be
rip.
pumped directly into local lakes, rivers, and beautiful nature reserves like these
No,
all
no.
over the country. Another common complaint of the Stanley Parable is that there wasn't enough gameplay. And so for the sequel, its developers have gone to great lengths to fix this problem. Here we can see gameplay being printed onto sheets. Every
perfect.
video game contains as many as 1,000 sheets of gameplay, and several of the largest games ever made contain close to 1,500. On mobile devices, the gameplay sheets have to be printed smaller. For the Stanley Parable
Mobile devices. Please.
2, as many as 35 new gameplay sheets are being printed, each of which must be delicately massaged by the hands of a child before being added into the game. This man
By a child.
is stealing gameplay sheets from the factory, which he likely intends to use for a personal project he's been developing in his spare time. A good public stoning will cure him of that inclination.
Wait, what?
Let's check on Gregory real quick. Ha! Still recovering from a hard day's work. Don't you move a muscle. Next up,
Sounds
it's
like a
time
good
to
idea.
blackmail the press.
Wait,
In
what?
a competitive market, blackmailing your local journalist can
Game reviewers, guys.
be one of the most effective methods of creating word-of-mouth buzz for your sequel. In fact, blackmail is the currency of social progress. From your neighborhood grocer to the teacher at your school to the man who helps you steal HBO, everyone responds to blackmail. And if you've never done it before, it's easy to practice at home on your friends and family.
Oh, boy.
Simply follow the
You guys have
instructional
notepads
pamphlet
out?
that your teacher hands out after the end of the film. And finally, there's one last tool at our disposal for making the sequel feel fresh and exciting. And that's packaging the game with collector's edition merchandise.
Hey,
If you
speaking my
order
language.
The Stanley Parable 2, you'll receive this cow's egg. A single
Beautiful.
egg will produce over 1,000 cows, which are,
Wow.
of course, the sequel to pigs. And there
Wait.
you have it. Everything there is to know about producing the Stanley Parable 2. Of course, you may know that there is also a game titled The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. So which game is the true sequel to The Stanley Parable? It's an excellent question, Billy. One which the child soldiers have been working round the clock to come up with an answer to. And after many weeks of diligent research, the conclusion they've reached is,
Yeah,
who gives
Artie.
a shit? All that matters is that it's more content for you to cram down your insatiable gullet.
Just
you don't
buy.
want thoughtful and nuanced answers to complex questions, Billy. You just want to eat bubble gum and cheat at hopscotch. So get out there and consume. Do your
I just want to play games.
civic duty and bully your parents into buying you every version of the Stanley Parable 2 on every platform. Tell your friends to bully their parents as well. It's through community efforts like these that the world comes together in harmony and connection. And it's only through this connection that we'll defeat Time Dracula once and for all. Don't let the time-traveling vampires win. Buy
Yeah.
the Stanley Parable 2 and pledge to support all sequels for today, tomorrow, and into the great unknowable beyond.
Chat, rise up against the time Draculas. Rise up. That's so good. That's new. If you're more of a prequel sort of person, check out the original Stanley Parable. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of the exhibit. Join the Crows Discord or follow us on Twitter. That's so good. That's so good, guys. Let me switch back. Okay, so we continue on. I've looked at the QR code. It's really cool that they added that. Thanks for letting me know, Artie. Office decorations, infinite hole. Ah. The reassurance bucket. Let's see what we have. We have new features, new content, new ideas. Consistent quality with just the right amount of change. The new updated ray trace, more of the same but in a good way sequel. They got in those buzzwords. Ray tracing, guys. Can't wait. That's like when someone calls your cell phone, but you hear it in your speaker before the call comes through. You hear it in your headset before the... Okay. Red is the new orange. Please, no screenshots. Yep. A whole new office. Ooh. The baby is all grown up and is facing bankruptcy. Okay, let's see what's in here. Name here yours today. Everyone's got one. Truly though? Does everyone have a name? Just in that one spot? God. Well, that used to trip me out so much back in the day. I'd be like, oh, I'm about to get a call. And then sure enough.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And
I don't know.
Of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, very wonderful. Too big of a button. Too small of a button. Just right. Why can't I press the button? Let me press it. It's too high. Stanley's too short. You're off for dinner. Have a good weekend. All right, Rich, thanks for stopping by. Much appreciated. You have a good weekend and a good dinner. Name. What's in a name? I guess I can press this button. Name.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature.
Hi,
Just
chat.
play along. I
I'm
promise
Jim.
you'll love it.
I
Okay,
don't
here we
know.
go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
We are Jim.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust.
Oh, rip.
Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Yes.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
We are Jim.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Do it again, chat. One more time.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
I hope
Let's
there's
take
more.
a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Personal validation, yes. I can't handle this much.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much, Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
No.
Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Jim.
Ha! Okay. Goodbye. Okay, chat. Say goodbye to Jim. Jim is no longer here. Jim has been taken away from you. Now it's just Mika. Only Mika. You miss Jim. Jim was always nice to you, wasn't he? Yeah,
I suppose
Jim was
I
a
could
good
allow
guy.
only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable too. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
No, finish the feature. Don't you dare release a game with an unfinished feature narrator. We already have too many of those. Too many. Cyberpunk, Anthem. What other games you want me to give you? Are you off,
An
Smooth?
epilogue would be
Have
fun,
a good
wouldn't
night.
it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Drive safe. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Be free. Wait. World champion? Hearts for all? Oh, I can't go in there yet. You go home now? Huzzah! Ooh. Oh, I
You know
used all
what?
the jumps.
Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well.
Great idea.
Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
My bad. Sorry about using all the jumps. Whoops. No jumps remaining. Player tears. Rude game. They knew. They knew you would use all the jumps, and then they used it against you later on. Uh-huh. I see how it is. I see how it is, game. You have to set each setting to the every possible setting. Oh my god. Jump circle. This map. Free achievement. The button that says the name of the player. Oh, how nice of them to give me a map. Merch. The infinite hole. Oh, there it is. Exit? No, we're not gonna go to the exit yet. Free and easy achievement. I can't believe it's that simple. Free achievement. Get yours now. Pull the lever. Receive your new achievement. No more steps. It just works, chat.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well,
Nope.
I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm
It's
not
still
a wizard,
broken.
Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last
I'm not a
satisfy
wizard,
the hordes of
Stanley.
ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Okay, PR Speak 2022. I hear you. Don't you PR Speak me. Rip. He's been corrupted, chat. I think he works for like Blizzard or Activision now. We've lost our narrator. He's become corrupted.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
What's up here? Can you find them? Ooh.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In
Right?
the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Rude. Look, I will have you know that collecting all the things is a very life-fulfilling achievement, alright? Oh, that's just creepy, guys. Help. Hey, 0, 1 of 6, let's go. We begin. And anyways. Collect them all. Can I go back in? Oh, it's like completely dark in there. Let's go
God,
jump in the
it really
hole.
is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
What do you mean? It's great. I love it.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
I will go with Get Well Someday because someday you will feel sick. So I feel like this is appropriate.
Sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
The narrator just did me and went with the one I didn't choose. Yeah, okay.
Actually,
okay.
Maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Have you? Are you sure? You can still undo it. You can
Come
still...
now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we
I
all
did
have
not.
to move on from our mistakes.
No. Change it. Narrator, change the choice. This balloon is ugly. Go with this one. This one. He's not listening. What if I go back? But the step-niece? Who? What step-niece? Why is a step-niece even a term? No. No. Okay. I guess it's not going to give me any more dialogue. Alright. I know... Oh yeah, the bucket. Hold on. We gotta go check out the bucket. And then we'll go back and we'll check out the hole.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical. That it engendered a
Paradoxical?
chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it.
Well, that's weird.
I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
It's
You
beautiful.
see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be?
Imagine,
Yes,
right?
The bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Nothing like a band-aid to completely help people overlook the actual issue. Yes. Well, you've learned so much, Mr. Narrator. Alright. Let me grab this bucket. Bucket. He's
Can
having
you feel
fun
it?
now.
The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Ooh,
I
are
think
we
that
looking
just holding
charismatic?
it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Oh, why, thank you.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they?
Should I put it on
All
my
this
head?
and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Well, I'm keeping the bucket now. It's mine. Yep, my bucket. This is my bucket. And now...
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game?
I don't think
That
they do,
really
no.
should be an award if it isn't already.
We can make it one, Mr. Narrator. It's quite possible. We'll be the first. We will be the forerunners, the founders. It will be us and no one else. What do we have here? Time versus death. Distant space-time, distant past, distant space-time, distant future. Whole like infinity. Oh boy. Rim, surrounding area, depth. Yeah. Do you think he knows that I'm thinking about throwing the bucket in the hole, guys? Do you think?
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall
Amazing.
until the end of time, if you like. A
Sounds
stunning leap
beautiful.
forward for video games as a medium.
We are about to go on an infinite journey. Oh, I can't throw it in. Oh, is this like the ledge? Look at that. Hold on, let me make sure there's nothing else around here. In we go!
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
So, what if we just sit here?
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
Do you think he fixed
Do
it?
it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Oh, why? Why sooner rather than later, Mr. Narrator? I thought we could do this for an infinite amount of time.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this
I knew
tactfully,
it.
but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole.
Saw that
Is it a
coming.
very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole.
I found
you
it.
found me out, Stanley.
I did,
I'm
I always
admiring the cheat,
do.
And you're so clever.
I am.
Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling.
No, that's not the
What
issue.
normal person actually wants to fall infinitely.
I got
I
time.
figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Oh, don't you start with me, Mr. Narrator.
Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
No, I meant
Why
it.
don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the whole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just
Mostly?
be up here when you're ready.
Mostly infinite? Bro, it was hardly very far at all. I can still see the light, which means it's not that far. I'm just gonna sit here with my bucket. Do you think you'll get mad at me if I sit down here too long? Also, who's throwing cigarette butts down the infinite hole? Who's doing it? Is he gonna make me return? Oh, is he not gonna say anything anymore? Rip. Okay. Alright, I'll press G.
Now, I'm very excited to show you. Oh, for heaven's... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean,
I definitely did.
Admittedly,
The circle
didn't
is
make
closer.
An infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Okay, so well
Had
now
enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime.
Oh, too bad.
Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where...
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I broke it.
I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite.
True.
I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here?
Oh,
Stanley,
marketing, I'm sorry.
I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
Oh, now you want to try it.
Well, there it is.
Hello.
The shame of my lie has come. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge?
Who am I to judge?
You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
I mean...
Is the, teleport button not working?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago.
I mean, I
Try
broke it.
again.
Okay.
Still nothing?
No.
Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this.
I mean...
I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole.
He's
and
leaving
now you'll
me.
get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole. I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
It's just you and me, Hole. I mean, you've gotten a little shorter. You're not as deep as you once were, but don't worry, I still appreciate you as a whole. Danny? Chat, what's that sound? We're going down, chat. The infinite hole. It's coming back. We're going down. We're getting our hole back. We're restoring our hole to its true nature. No longer will it be a short hole, but it will be a true deep hole. Extending far, far, far below into the channels of the earth. To where? To infinity. 1 inch at a time. Just me and my bucket. Boom. To infinity and beyond.